Look at you. Hold on, hold on. Where's my hat?
Right?
Happy Christmas.
Oh,
I
it's
know.
great. Christmas.
Happy
So,
American
shoot.
Christmas to you.
To
Happy
you.
American
Hi, Anthony.
Christmas.
So I almost forgot about our Christmas theme today.
You
And I was
almost
sitting down and
forgot?
I'm like, almost forgot. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. So I went and got my Christmas jammies out and we're
Awesome.
Christmas jammying it up.
I picked this based on like well like this is for the evergreen tree.
Yep. No, I got you. You good.
And this is for the whole idea of blending or modifying a current tradition like Christmas
Mm.
with America.
With the 4th of
Yeah, yeah,
July.
yeah. So Christmas already existed, but now they put stars on it, making it Christian nationalism. So it's like it's the
Oh, I
same
see what
type
you
of
did.
blend as the blend from paganism to Christianity in my mind, because these two
Hmm.
things don't actually go together. They're not the same, you know what I mean? Like they don't.
You don't think they do, but they do.
America, no, they don't.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Like, because there's so many different types of Americans that that's there are two separate entities, and trying to blend them is
Blend.
not really my version of an America I'd want to live in. But that's just my
Yeah.
opinion, you know?
Yep.
Anyways, I'm not gonna wear that because it'll
And
get
that
really,
works.
really hot. Maybe I'll put it on again
Yeah,
later.
mine may come off, although it's colder here.
The
It
top or the
is
bottom?
colder.
Just kidding.
Well, let's see how this goes. How pagan are we
Yeah,
getting?
yeah.
No, just
Sometimes she
kidding.
gets really into Christmas, guys.
I just I just love it. It's my favorite time of year. Gets me really excited.
It really is what like is a very awesome time of year, and I feel like the topic we're going to talk about today kind of like explains to me a little bit why I do like it so much, despite not holding on to certain aspects of my beliefs from my youth and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Anyways, I didn't even ask. How was your week?
Oh, it was good. It
Good.
was good. We're
No
just
big
busy getting
events.
ready for Christmas. We
Okay,
are
that's good.
taking our family on a Christmas cruise.
Yeah,
Like
that's
in-
awesome.
instead of tons of presents, we're just getting out of town. So,
Yeah.
but we'll be back on Christmas Eve at like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure everything is prepped and ready, and
I appreciate an
we're
activity
we're
or
getting there.
something like that more than a physical gift, I
Yeah.
think, anyways, really.
Well, and where
I
I
mean, I
have
enjoyed the
kids
gifts,
that have
but
started, yeah, I've had kids started leaving home, so it's more like being together is more important. So,
yes, totally. That's gonna be so awesome.
yep.
Where are you guys going?
Off the coast of California, going to Catalina and Ensenada and just spending a couple days where it's warm.
Heck yeah. I'm spending a couple days where it's warm too. Did it?
Yeah. You live there. I'm jealous.
I do. I do.
Mm.
Anyways, although we're really planning Haley's birthday right now because
Oh,
her
fun.
birthday's on the 20th. So we always gotta like
That's right.
do that first. Like,
Combine the two.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't want to combine the two. That's the
No,
thing.
you don't combine the two. They go
However,
separate. You
we
do not
do.
wrap.
We 100% do though, because we tried to like not make it be all about Christmas. So for the first part of her life, we've always done a birthday tree.
I
That is
love
it.
it.
Christmas and birthday blended. But we wanted to let her birthday overshadow Christmas
Shine.
for that time. Yeah, to shine. So it was like we
Yep.
always do a birthday tree. This year she wanted the tree decorated, so it's already decorated, but we have like a small other tree that I'm gonna set up with balloons on it. Because like our
I love
tradition
that.
is that we always do a birthday tree for her.
Yep.
So,
And then you never wrap birthday presents in
oh,
Christmas paper.
yeah, no, no.
You you
I
just
mean, I'm not
don't.
good about wrapping anyways, and I don't like I've started like wrapping things in like fabric sometimes. Just wrap it
I
up
like
and tie
that.
a bow around it or anything because like we just waste and consume so much. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'm gonna use as
Do
much
you
of what I
remember?
have before I go get it somewhere else.
Yep. Do you remember how my parents used to do Christmas?
Mm-mm.
With my parents hated wrapping presents because there were seven of us, and it's like,
Yeah.
and my
Yeah, I
parents
don't
do
know how my
like
parents did it, honestly.
I
Oh
I
wait,
don't either,
wait, I
but
do too. The church dropped off presents sometimes.
that that works too.
Yeah, they
But
did
my
as much as
parents,
they could.
yeah, my parents just had a room that they would keep locked, and they're like, Christmas presents are in there, don't go in there. And then on Christmas morning, they would have all these gift bags, and they'd take seven of them upstairs and fill them with stuff and bring them back down. And then when it was time for the next presents, they'd go back upstairs, fill them all up, and bring them back
Oh, that's
down.
kind of fun though. It's like first round of gifts. Everybody opens it, start playing with that or put it where it goes. It's kind of a good
Yeah,
idea, honestly. Stretches out the process,
yeah. But
uses
then you
less
have to be
waste.
like,
Huh?
Yep. Then you have to be very careful though that everybody has relatively close to the same amount of gifts because
Yeah.
you don't want one kid going like 6 rounds without a present. It's like, oh, thanks, I
Hey,
guess.
I got rollerblades. I got an avocado. I
We have a Christmas video of my kids who both got tons of stuff for Christmas and they were both just fine.
uh-huh.
And like one of them was like 3 and the other one was 5.
Okay.
And the 3-year-old's like, I got a big wheel. And the 5-year-old's like, I got a toothbrush. And we're like, oh, that seems unfair. She really liked her toothbrush. So,
Yeah, that's what excites them. I
mm,
gotta, I gotta show you. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to Jesse. Um, uh, the kids, they like what they like, and they like boxes. We put
mhm.
up the Christmas tree from Anthony's mommy, and it has this big box that we still had out to the side. So Elena opened it up and made a bed in it, and she literally slept in it last night. She was like,
Really?
"Yeah," and she's like,
Aw.
"I'm like, well, we're gonna need to like put it away," and she's like, "But I love it." I'm like,
Okay, it's
guys,
yours now,
save some money and time. Give your kids a box.
right? And if you give them crayons, they will stay there for out. Like,
And it's a big box. She fits
they'll
in. So
decorate it.
crayons in there, like it's a good idea.
Okay,
No,
I'm really giving myself like bald lumberjack vibes.
you're not. You look super cute. You're being too judgmental of yourself. You look
Mm,
adorbs. Like for a bald
thank you.
lumberjack, at least.
An adorable bald lumberjack. Sweet.
Yeah. Okay, I
This is
have
all fake.
prepared
It's attached to the
a book
hat.
report for today.
Okay, Rachel's got the book report for
Okay, so
today.
welcome back to our little white picket fence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this is all I'm gonna teach Emily some things. Where'd that come from?
It's a
I've been
bruise.
wait, don't ever do that again, Rachel. Don't ever. Remember
Yes,
that bit?
absolutely do
No,
that.
no, no, no. I know, I know.
Ugh.
I'm just being stupid. But remember, it was BJ who did that thing.
Yeah, no, I know. I tell my kids that all the time.
Tell us
You
right
are
now, because
not.
I'm not doing it because I got like when I heard it, I
Mhm.
laughed at it, and now I'm like, I feel
But
attacked.
now it hurts. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my brothers who I love dearly, but would tease me a lot. I would have my hand up like this, and they'd come by and they'd go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just
But
counting how
what's
many
funny
times
is
it jiggles.
you've literally been a beanpole. There was nothing there. That's just one of those
Even if
things
there
that was
was, you
like,
don't do that.
no, you don't do it. But also, it was that time, at that time, women as a joke was just everybody laughed, even the young women. We just didn't
Hmm.
realize that, oh, we become the people they're doing that to. We become
Hmm.
that. So they're making us
Yes.
ashamed at a very young age of what we will inevitably become.
Mm,
Get ready
yes,
to
I
be
will. I
disgusted
agree.
by yourself.
Although my daughter also likes to tease in similar ways. She comes up to me and she goes, "Man, your hair looks so pretty and soft. Can I touch it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And she goes, like,
Yeah, I know.
"Uh-huh. Thanks, sweetie.
Yeah,
Thanks."
yeah. I have to see that it's also just that sibling thing. Siblings, like, I don't know. It's like there is kind of a pass because there is something to be said for like learning how to tease and take a joke. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? And
You will learn
understand
that
that
with
there's not
older
always
siblings.
like malicious intent. It's literally
Mhm.
just to be silly in that moment. But I think when it comes to the body, it's just there's no reason to be talking about somebody else's body. There is no
Yeah.
perfect, there is no normal. The idea of what is perfect and normal has been portrayed
Yeah.
to you, but that doesn't make that actual reality. Like if you look at what most people are, it's not that.
No.
Yeah.
No. Um, yeah, I have stories on that, but let's get back
Okay,
to
yeah, I'm so sorry.
bring it
So
around.
this was based off a video that I will share because you could go watch that and it will tell this story much more eloquently and like with visuals and everything. And but I learned this, I watched this video called A Very Pagan Christmas, and I just wanted to teach Emily what I learned because I thought it was cool and I thought, maybe, oh, this
Go
could be
for it.
fun. So, anyways,
I like education. Let's do this.
right? Okay. So, this is like the pagan history of Christmas, essentially. So,
Okay.
and I think we all kind of know that, right? Like, it's common knowledge that, like, certain things, haven't you
Depends
always
who you
kind
talk
of
to.
heard that? I mean, even as a Christian, I had heard that and I was like, oh, I get that. Like, yeah, like, I don't know. I heard it, but it didn't mean anything to me. It didn't matter that like
Because
the
those weren't
pagans
my
also
celebrations.
used a tree, or you know what I mean? It didn't matter that there were
Hmm.
those things. Because
Yep.
honestly, I think the way that like I thought of pagan with the no information I was given, you know what I mean, is
Hmm.
I thought like you thought something to do with witchcraft,
Yeah, it
right?
has like some sort of. nature-y
Oh, it's definitely
witchcraft,
nature.
fairy
It's very,
vibes.
very nature, but I think witchcraft is more Wiccan.
Yeah,
Yeah. And there is a witch somewhere in their folklore, but she is like one of the people that makes up our current day Santa Claus. You know,
nice.
they're all
Interesting.
like representing something. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
anyways, okay. So basically, this is the first section of this is called suppression. Like this, what they did was to first suppress. And so first it was actually the Christians who were kind of suppressed because when the Christians first became a thing, when Christianity was becoming a thing, it was practiced in secret because it was how to say saw as a threat to the current like the status quo, you know, because there was a different way of doing things. But when the Roman Emperor Constantine converted to Christianity, he then made that the official religion. So that's when the shift
Christianity.
started to happen. Mhm. So the biggest thing is that I think that they recognized right off the bat was how the traditions, no matter what, just kept living on. The traditions were there. So instead of um trying like well at first I guess they did very much try to suppress because paganism was what was it? It was outlawed as like superstitions or devil worship.
So just for we touched on it just barely. So paganism in general is just mostly based on nature,
Hmm.
based on the turning of the seasons, the
And I'll get to
like
that.
the changing of
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Okay.
I think it touches on
So
all those things. So like everything
mhm,
through this as I tell this story will come to light.
mhm. Okay.
Okay?
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
So they
But
didn't
it's
erase the traditions.
yeah,
They like reimagined them to match the story of Christianity.
which makes sense because if somebody came in right now and tried to change Christmas, we'd be like, "Nah, I want to keep my tree." Like, and I want to
Yeah, if someone came along and tried to make Christmas into something else, Christmas
it'd
and
be
their
crazy,
beliefs
huh?
into something else, that would be crazy.
That would be
Who
nuts.
would do that? I don't know. So, anyways,
That's a mystery. It's a mystery.
mystery. All right, so
Okay.
yes, so the new tradition, the new holiday when Christmas was becoming a thing, they wanted to make something that was like new but comfortably familiar. So like they embraced the seasonal celebrations
Hmm.
and they so like the winter solstice, which was like the rebirth of the sun, you know, because it's been winter for a long time and you know, you need something to look forward to because winters are dark and hard. And so it was like celebrating the rebirth of the sun coming because, you know, then the winter solstice is the shortest days of the year. It's the most dark. So it's a time where they just celebrated the rebirth of the sun. And so for Christianity, it was reimagined as the birth of a son.
Ah, I see what
Ah.
they did there with the words.
Mm-hmm. So comfortably familiar, but new. Continuing traditions, but giving a different backstory. Okay.
Got it.
So paganism is, like you were saying, the celebration of the natural world and its cycles, pretty much.
Hmm.
Like, and it totally makes sense to me because I'm like, yeah, they were like at the mercy of the weather. They were at the
Of the sun,
mercy.
the weather, yeah.
Exactly. So like that essentially was their God speaking to them. The earth was their God, essentially. So
Hmm.
it makes total sense because and even like the way that you think about the way they describe, you know, God, like the mercy of God. You're at the mercy of this and lean onto your own, not onto your own understanding, but onto his. Like it's like the weather's gonna
Yep.
keep happening regardless. Like the earth is
Yeah.
gonna function as it will, and we're at its mercy. Like
Yep.
it like I
Well,
totally was seeing the parallel of like, and I
mhm.
can actually get behind treating our earth as our God, our thing to answer to, because it is our life source.
Yeah. In different ways, I don't think. I don't know. Anyway,
What though?
yes, it
I
is our
don't know.
life source.
In different
But
ways, what?
Well, in different ways. I'm like, I don't know that like praying to the earth or something would change anything. I think it's just
Well, I
like,
don't know that they
but a
prayed
healthy respect
to
for
the
it.
earth. Maybe they did, regardless. They were still very
Yeah, I don't
superstitious. They just,
know.
I think the religion aspect of it, like the part of it that I don't get behind in paganism is the same part that I don't get behind in Christianity, which is the spirits that you have to like please so that you're going to get out of this dark night. You know what I mean? It was just that they couldn't explain what was happening around them, so they tried to give it reason, which everybody does. But now that we
Well,
have the ability to
huh?
explain what's going on around us, we don't need to pray to those things to get past it. We know time will pass and a new season will
Understanding.
come. Understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, those people, if you think about it back then, there was no air travel that we know of, no like mass transit, cars, you know what I mean? Most
Yeah.
people would stay within 10 miles of their home their whole lives. And you didn't have much contact with the outside world. Like
Yeah.
there was some newspapers and you'd hear things here and there, but mostly what you were dealing with was just what's around you. So if you had an earthquake, it would be easy to see like, oh my gosh, God's mad at me. Like God's punishing us for something. Or if there was like an eclipse, you'd be like,
Yeah.
what is God
I
trying
can
to
get
tell
why
us?
they
Like,
thought like I can get their superstitions more than I
mhm,
can now, honestly. I
yeah,
hold more space for their superstitions because they didn't have the
yep,
information to know better.
yep,
So yeah.
agreed.
So all the pagan elements though are hidden in plain sight. So that's
Hmm.
like the irony of it all. Like they really
Okay.
just made like a fusion of paganism and Christianity, and that was like that is what created or became Christmas. It's a fusion of the two. Like it's not 100% Christian, it's not 100% pagan. It's a fusion to
Give us
make.
some examples.
Oh, there's lots. Okay, so like the whole winter solstice and that whole the whole celebration is the promise that light would return. Things are dormant, but life will return. So that was that. And they put it into the light of the world being Jesus Christ was born. So
Hmm.
he brought that light. He is responsible for that light, not the fact that the sun just comes and brings light back, brings new harvest, you know. So that way, him being the sun. Um, they thought winter was like supernatural, like or like just super they thought supernatural things came along with winter. And it was because I think of there were so many unexplained. So they like to make sense of it, it was something supernatural that they almost needed to like, you know, make happy. So like celebrations and stuff like that were celebrations of like the earth. Like there was one story about how they would at Christmas, like they would decorate the trees in their orchards and like sing to the
Hmm.
trees and you know, just to be like thanking earth for like providing the sustenance and stuff like that because they thought that would help to bring about, you know, like warming again faster or things like that. Can you hear the thunder?
Yes, that was thunder.
It is thunder. The lights in the house actually went out for a little bit.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
We get
I love
thunderstorms here
thunderstorms.
occasionally. Yeah, it's pretty normal for I like a good thunderstorm though.
Florida. Me too.
Anyways, okay. So, uh the solstice traditions regardless continued, but here's where they actually did it. And I looked this up in the Britannica.com. It was
Oh,
the
cool.
year 336 AD that the church created the date of December 25th to be the date that they would celebrate the birth of their son. And because it's right in the middle of the winter solstice holiday or
They're
Yule.
just like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's throw
Uh-huh.
this in there. We'll
So yeah,
celebrate
well
too.
they created it to unite tradition with Christianity. They realized they could not get that like tradition. People long for tradition. People long for the opportunities to celebrate, the opportunities to come
Yep.
together. Like it's natural for us to want community and sharing and things like that. So they just
We want to celebrate
they made a
too.
celebration that mirrored the solstice message, the sun and the sun.
But damn, bam, bam. Yeah.
Okay, so what you were asking for, give you some more like things that are Christmas that were originally pagan. Okay, so the first one and the
Yes.
most I think important and significant one because it is the whole basis of the Christian faith is the sun and the sun and the winter solstice, the coming of the natural sun to bring us out of the dark days of winter, versus the coming of the Son of a God who would save us from our own iniquities.
So do you think they did that on purpose, or did that
A
just happen
hundred
to like,
percent.
yeah,
100.
they just,
Yes. Yes, because they literally, once he made it the official religion,
uh-huh.
they started making pagan like, oh no, that's not real. This is real. Look, our emperor says this is real. That is devil talk. That's devil worship. Despite, that just being their traditions for a very long time. So
Hmm.
paganism is pre-Christianism. And then
Got
when
it.
they decided to change the story, it was one of the times in history, because I think it's happened many times where we've just shifted the story to fit like the narrative and be like, this is now the reality.
Hmm.
So yeah, this was 100% a very intentional thing. And as I tell you the rest of these things, we'll get that. So evergreens,
Okay.
the trees evergreens were highly like worshipped pretty much by the pagans. And it's because evergreens, tall, they connect the earth and the sky. So they would do offerings by like decorating them with things, giving them gifts and stuff like that as like a ritual of gratitude to like nature for, being
Oh,
bountiful
cool.
to them. And just, you can come in right now. I will get to that. It literally has those notes. Anthony also would like to say the evergreens endured the winter.
That's right.
So I would,
They
yes.
did.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, so yes, it endured the long winter, and that was also a reason why they saw that as like, oh wow, this tree can stand up to these harsh conditions, and it stands tall, and so like we honor it. So the Christians infused it with new meaning, and they brought it inside. They chopped it down and killed it, and brought it inside, which actually defeats the purpose of what the pagans were doing, because the pagans they didn't want to like destroy the life of the evergreen. They wanted to honor it because they valued how strong it was. And then so that started as something you decorate the trees outside, and now it's decorated inside. And since I celebrate Christmas for just the reason of wanting to like celebrate and basically celebrate history at this point in time, celebrate traditions that like our forefathers have kept and that I see value in. We have
Hmm.
a fake tree that we're gonna keep inside. Like I don't plan on getting rid of it. I'll keep it forever. We'll put new lights on it, whatever. It'll last forever because I'm never
Yep.
buying another one at this point because I don't. But on our property, we've already talked about decorating or like just decorating all the trees and like just like having fun with it and leaving nature where nature is and appreciating where it is versus having to chop it down and bring it inside for our consumption.
I just because of how I've been raised, I love having a Christmas tree. Mine's fake too.
Mhm.
Um, I
We're
love
gonna
the
plant
smell of
pines.
pine and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna plant like
But
evergreens at our property if we can. Like we want to raise Christmas
um,
trees, but just to leave them there for us to decorate.
well, I love the thought of decorating the trees outside. I have a bunch of pine trees. Maybe I should start. But
You should.
like decorating them with like
That's
popcorn
how
and berries and
outside
things that
decoration started.
squirrels and
Yeah.
yeah, for squirrels and
Outside
birds and
decoration started like that. And it was like a message to like other travelers to light their way and stuff like that. Like people, all these, the lights outside at that time are also just like a little shadow of a way it used to be. They weren't just to
Mhm.
celebrate this time and bring us joy, although they do that. Back then, they were used to light the travelers in the nights and give them
Yep.
beacons, you know? So,
Especially in the winter. Um,
yes,
I love
exactly.
reading. Like
Candles outside. Yeah, it
I
makes so
love all
much
the like
sense.
Little House on the Prairie type books that are from back then.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of times in the winter time where it would be super snowy and you would have to follow a rope from one place to another because if you happen to be walking and miss the building that you were aiming for, you could end up anywhere because like
Yeah.
in a whiteout, you just don't know where you are. So anyway, just
Yeah,
throwing that
yeah. It
out there.
reminds me of like Nutty Putty Cave. You had to have a string.
Yes. I never went and I'm so glad I didn't.
I did go, and actually, it gives me a little bit of nightmares knowing that it's a man's final resting place now. If you want to look up that story, kind of, but yeah, I've been in that
Um,
cave.
Cody actually saved somebody from that exact spot
Yeah.
once.
I mean, the birth canal was, and I'm a very small person. Well, I was a very small person. Like,
No, yeah.
so, like, and it was like very claustrophobic for me. So I'm just like, ooh, like, I don't want to think about it.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Right.
I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Okay. So pretty much, like I said before, like, we are at the earth's mercy, you know? It is going to
Hmm.
continue earthing regardless of what we do. They just believed that they could usher in new things maybe because they were just trying to make
Hmm.
life better and to, and I so see the value in that. Pagans like respected and showed gratitude to the world around them because I don't know, they just it
I
was
think we all
their
should.
God. I don't need a God, but if I had a God, it would be this thing that gives me sustenance and supports my life.
Hmm.
So
Well,
I get it.
and it's our home. We should be
Yeah,
respectful of our home. Just like
agreed.
your house that you're in right now, you should take care of. And, we're not
Yeah.
always perfect, but we try
Yeah. And when you take care of
do the
it,
same.
you get to like really enjoy it and like in a nice state.
Hmm.
And I think it's good for your brain and everything. When you sit in an unkept, like messed up space, I think it messes with your headspace.
Hmm.
It's good to
Yeah,
so
even
you
the
should
difference between
even
spending time in a city, which is just fine, but when you go from a city space to like the mountains with a view and
yeah.
trees and clean air, it's a
Yeah.
massive
And
difference.
everybody has the amount of that they need that's right for them. Because, like, I could be in the city
Hmm.
most of the time. I really enjoy
Hmm.
a hustle and bustle of people and lights and movement. And, like, I
Hmm.
enjoy that. I do enjoy the solitude sometimes, but those are like limited times. Like, I don't want to be in that setting all the time, I don't think. Maybe I would like it, but I
No.
also very much enjoy the city. But everybody should be, I think we all
Yeah,
need a
I
little of
think
both in different increments.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. Whenever I'm feeling a little housebound,
Hmm.
mostly in the summertime because I don't do well in the winter, um, I'll like go take a nap in the yard, like in the grass,
Uh-huh.
or go like barefoot in the dirt.
Yeah. Ground
It does something
yourself.
for it does something for your soul.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, like we all remember playing in the dirt and playing outside when we were kids. That sticks with you because it's like it felt so good. It was like one of those things you just hold on to. So
okay, this has nothing to do with anything, but it's one of those ADD things that pops into your brain.
awesome.
Did you know that anything you look at, your tongue already knows how it tastes and feels?
I think you told me that before, and I get it
I think
because
so.
I taste things that I smell all the time, anyways,
Hmm.
and so sometimes just talk about things like metals. I know exactly what
Hmm.
metal tastes like. I taste it
Right?
when I think of it. Our
With
brains
dirt,
are
it's like
so powerful.
I don't remember ever like really eating dirt, but like I know what that stuff
Yeah,
tastes
well,
like.
because when you ate one of those every flavored jelly beans and it tasted like dirt, you were like, "Yep."
Mhm. That's it.
And
I know
grass.
exactly what that is. Hmm.
And I did eat a few things. Not gonna lie, I tried dog food.
I'm sure it.
I don't know why.
Mhm.
I don't know why. I think it was just like, why is that different? Like, and it was just down all the time, so I was just like, I'm gonna try that. And you know what? I was like, I get it. You can have it. I don't want it. That's disgusting.
It's yours.
It's gross. I'm glad you like
That's
it.
now your food. Yes.
But
Yes.
if I had a human chow that I could like eat and gave me all my sustenance and was actually nutrition, me and Anthony have talked about this, like to take away like the whole having to like make the meal and stuff, I'm like, give me a can of chow. As long as it's actually good for me and I can enjoy the flavor a little bit, like I don't have to think about this
Human
anymore.
chow.
Give me the chow.
That'd be nice. Just, hook me up to an IV every now and then.
I enjoy
Do I want
eating.
to cook dinner? No.
But sometimes I'm definitely like, this is a chow time. I just want sustenance. Okay, so more things that have pagan origins. Holly,
Oh yeah.
that's a yeah. So holly, it thrived in the dead of winter with the bright red berries. So it stood out as something that could stand up to that. It could stand up to those
Hmm.
times. So they saw it as like just they revered it. So they use that in their
Yeah.
decorations, bringing those type of things like to decorate as well. They ivy, which me and Anthony were talking about that. I don't see too much ivy in like Christmas decoration, so maybe that's one of those things that's like fallen off a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe it is,
maybe.
but ivy is a plant that clings around like trees and walls and survives the cold days of winters too. So they revered that for its like strength and tenacity. And then like the Yule log, which is for now it symbolizes Christ, the light of Christ, light of the world. You know, it burns for a long time, stuff like that. But the Yule
Sure.
log was literally used for survival because
Yeah.
it did like kept the warm, but it was also more than comfort. It symbolized the sun. So
Yeah.
yeah. And I saw another thing, little tidbit that said the Christmas ham also was to like kind of it was after like the Yule log, thinking about like that's how that came to be. It was inspired
Mm-hmm.
by the Yule log, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if that
Nice.
was whatever.
Sure.
Alrighty.
I do like
So
a good
let me see
Christmas
where I
ham.
am here. So, anyways, Christianity, the faith, brought nature into indoor celebrations. So, like they brought Christian celebrations off of like ancient pagan rituals, basically. So like all of those
Okay.
things that they do, it never had anything to do with Christianity. They were just part of a celebration and a tradition that was widely accepted that they could then utilize for their story. So, because they were like powerful symbols to like ancient
Mm-hmm.
pagans. So they weren't going anywhere, you know? People,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there was a really, I don't even know where it's at on here, but I'm going to say it now because I never knew this. Did you know that even countries that aren't Christian celebrate Christmas?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but
I know a
they
lot of,
they celebrate it with the trees and everything because people yearn for tradition. People yearn for, like gift giving and
yeah.
things like that. Like same reasons why I won't let it go and I keep holding on to it because it never did have anything to do with that for me. Like I was told it did, but like, and while I did
This hair is
like
bugging
the
me. Sorry.
I did
Keep
like
going.
the songs. Do you
Yeah,
have hair in your face?
I do. I pulled one out and then it's sticking everywhere. So just keep going. I got this. I
You're
got this.
fine.
I'm still listening.
Mm. Okay. So let's see. Oh, they
So Christmas
also
songs and
like
stuff.
carved symbols into their Yule log. So that's
Yeah.
something that they would do. I guess we don't really do that anymore, but that's kind of cool. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so all the symbolism from like paganism was not discarded, but rather adapted.
Got it.
So that is the suppression that was used by the Christians for the pagan and the way that they kind of suppressed
The
the one.
rebranding.
They
Yeah.
rebranded. They rebranded.
Mm-hmm.
Like so because the girl who does that I've been going to for massages, a massage MB,
Hmm.
is she's pagan. So she's been telling me some
Oh,
stuff, which is why we even watched this because I was like, this is so interesting. Like I didn't know people still celebrated this. She was telling me about their celebrations. Like they have big feast even still today. And like you have to be invited, but like they have large groups and gatherings. And I was just like, this is awesome.
fun.
Like I want to be part of that. Like it's just kind of cool. But she told me that they celebrate Yule right now. So from the 31st of December back 12 days. Do you know about Yule? Okay,
No.
so the 31st of December back 12 days. Each day represents a month of the year. And on that day, you celebrate that month. You look back on your accomplishments, the
Ah,
things that you're
cool.
grateful for. Like I really see value in celebrating Yule because it's the practice of gratitude, which is something else that we like to wrap into this time of year, adapted from
Hmm.
this tradition of looking at your year, looking back at it and just paying homage to it pretty much. Um
Yes.
so I just think that's
I
cool.
like
So I
that.
might I might
I like
start
that. And self-reflection.
just trying to celebrate Yule a little bit too. Like, well, I'm gonna figure out what date that actually starts. And then I don't know, maybe with
Yeah,
the
that's awesome.
family. On the first day we'll do
That would
January.
also that would also help with New Year's resolutions too. If you're in April and you're like, I'm gonna have to look back on April and like
Yeah,
think about
yeah.
what I've done
Like,
here.
how
What
can
am
I
I gonna
improve
do?
on this year? What did I do
Hmm.
well? Let's run ourselves
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
little
yeah.
efficient businesses.
All right.
Yeah.
Self-reflection is great. Anyway, you
All
were
right.
saying
So
you're gonna
other
start looking
other
back 12.
things, which I don't know. Well, so like one thing that um they also used for in the pagan way of life, I guess, was they did big bonfires. And they
Nice.
served as a reminder of the sun's power, of course, and a call for its return. But again, just they really revered fire and anything that brought light in a time that was so
And
dark and
warmth.
cold and
Yeah.
hard for them. Yeah. And so Christians, the way that they continue that is kind of like from they changed it to candles and brought them inside, so it was easily
Hmm.
incorporated, like just right into Christianity, son of the world, the light of the world,
Yeah.
things like that. And then the Christmas lights were the continuation of an ancient legacy, a reminder that even in the darkest hours, there's light to be found. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fun to
Which
like
is,
learn all this stuff because we've been celebrating this our whole lives with like only one
mhm.
story, one view, and it's just so weird to like I don't know.
It's fun to get to know other people's beliefs
Yeah.
and reasoning, and
All right. So
I
that
enjoy
first
it.
part, that was the suppression of it. This next part moves on to supernatural spirits of like the pagans and the way that it so they believe that like the winter's chill brought like creatures. So this is like Santa's origins. They
Ah.
um the OG for them was Odin, the old Norse gods.
Hmm.
Did you know that
Yeah,
Odin had an eight-legged horse?
I did not.
Yeah, eight reindeer.
Ah, I
Um,
see what you.
yes, eight-legged horse that he would take on wild hunts, bringing an omen of fortune or doom.
Hmm.
Okay, and with Odin, there was more to it than that. There was like a merge of the stories. Um, Children would leave treats for Odin, and he would in turn leave gifts. So that was like the beginning of the
Nice.
like leaving out the cookies and stuff like that for
Yep.
Santa. And while Santa doesn't have anything to do with the Christian faith, they like I was just talking to my mother-in-law a little about this today, and she was like, "Oh yeah, because Santa Claus is based off of Saint Nicholas," and I'm like, "She's not wrong.
Mhm.
Saint Nicholas
Yep.
is a Christian bishop, but they actually mingled the stories of multiple like multiple supernatural creatures at the time. That's
Hmm.
why he was the Christian bishop. So I think that's why they used more his name, good old Saint Nick,
Hmm.
Santa Claus. But they took
Yeah.
all the power, the eight reindeer, the eight-legged thing, the ability to fly and have magic. All of that comes from Odin. So Saint Nicholas and Odin kind of created Santa Claus, Father Christmas. So even Santa Claus is part pagan, part Christian
Which makes
in
sense.
origins. Yeah. Um, Only thing is for them, like with Father Christmas and stuff like that, like right now, Santa is pretty much only good. Back then, it was like it wasn't always good. It was a reward or a punishment. So it's
Uh-huh.
pretty much
Has
how
some
they like keep the
Belschnickel in
kids
there.
in check.
Hmm.
Like you got to be good because they're watching. Or it's either you get good or you get bad. And the way we continued that is coal, right? Well, if you're not
Hmm.
good, you're going to get
Naughty or
coal.
nice
And
list.
it
Yep.
started with what Odin would do, fortune or doom, to keep the kids like
Fortune or
in check.
doom.
We've always needed an
Yep.
element of fear, apparently, to make people do what we
Hmm.
want to do. Yeah. But
Nice. Nice.
all right, moving on. All right. Anyway, okay. So beloved holiday traditions that hold shadows of the ancient past.
Ooh.
Okay, so they have a lot of like folklore myths in paganism, like spirits that
Hmm.
walk freely in the winter. And so
Uh-huh.
um I'm sorry, is that really loud? The rain and the thunder?
Not at all. I can't hear it at
Not
all.
at all. Okay, good. All right. So the first one is Krampus. He's like a
Krampus.
shadow to Saint Nick. Like Saint Nick delivers the rewards, Krampus delivers the punishment. So
Uh-huh.
he was the coal, Santa's the presents. But so Krampus was one of the spirits that walked originally. And I mean, I get their like desire to give meaning to things because people have
Of
always done
course.
that. And I they had no way to know any better. So this is as good of an idea of what was happening as any at the time,
Hmm.
as kind of like silly as things sound now. But again, just reminding children to stay behaved because Krampus is also there. It's not just Saint Nick.
He's watching.
Yeah, so even though
That,
Santa just gives coal now, so he's significantly nicer. It's just like you get or you don't.
yeah, the way that would have scared me as a kid, thinking of like
Yeah.
some
Yeah, but like I
evil
guess
creature.
Krampus was the moral counterpoint to the Saint Nicholas mercy. There's always the good and the bad, the dark and the light. There always had to be like both sides. So
Yeah.
you had said something about a witch though. So this is There is one spirit called Labafania, which was like a
Mm,
witch, and she also was known for giving gifts for the behaved children. So it was
nice.
like a behavior thing. Like if you're good, Labafania will bring you a gift, you know.
Fun.
So another one of their spirits that was basically just there to enforce behavior. Um
Hmm.
yeah, one thing I wrote down that I'm like, I don't even know I did. I said the pagans had an ancient understanding that the season was a time of judgment. Like there was always that like but I don't think it really had a or maybe it was judgment because it was so harsh. The season just felt like a judgment. Like like you were
Yeah,
being
maybe.
punished by the earth almost. Everything was made
Well, it
cold
could
and dead
also
and you had to survive.
also the way you survived for those months depended on how you used the other months. Like
Yeah.
if if you didn't stock things away, if you didn't prepare, if you weren't ready, winter could be awful and deadly. Like it kind of was a time of judgment.
Yeah.
Like
So
let's see how well you can survive this because it is inhospitable at best.
yeah.
And if
Yeah.
they only
A
knew that a
reminder
few
that
thousand
the
miles south,
season, like the night itself, held mysteries that were wondrous and dark, is
mhm,
what she said.
yeah,
Okay, so next. This was becoming Christmas, the way it became our modern day Christmas.
mhm,
So gathering and indulging and feasting was like an act of resilience in the harshest season. That's like what it was. Gathering was it was a way they like just brought themselves together. They also celebrated during like that time, during like the winter time, something called because I guess it aligns something with a planet at the same time as like when it's really
okay,
cold and stuff. So Saturnalia is a celebration.
Saturnalia.
Saturnalia. It's an acknowledgement of the hardships of winter and the hope of eventual renewal. But during Saturnalia, like everything kind of like switches. It's a huge feast. Masters served servants. Gambling was legal. Like things that were normally not socially acceptable. They were like, during this time,
Do it.
like do it. This is the time for excess. This is the time it it's a celebration that life would endure. And it said something like they knew, I have it somewhere, but basically saying that they shared all the food and they ate in excess because the promise that the sun would return and return the ability to grow more food. So they shared and they all ate in abundance, which was really kind of like fattening up, you know? Like
Hmm.
they didn't eat that way all the time. Like I think we
No.
kind of feast a little too
Yeah.
much. We're like, it's dinner.
Yeah.
Here's your potatoes and your meat and your veggie and your dessert and like
Six
that.
kinds of pie and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And that's just a Thursday night. Like that's not just our big feast. Like we do it pretty regularly now, which shows our
Yeah.
desire to, be happy and fat and merry, we all want that.
Fat and happy.
Um, so but so Yule, I already told you, was a celebration of winter solstice. So that was another thing. They had um Saturnalia and then Yule, and then the church recognized like the communal bond that brought, and they wanted to like they saw that it fostered hope and like just a really strong sense of community, and they
Mhm.
couldn't squash it. Like it's a tradition that wouldn't go away pretty much. So
Yeah.
they recognized
Nor
that
should
they
it.
redirected the feast and everything to celebrate Christ's birth.
Of course.
So it had its origin somewhere else, and now everything comes back to a different sun.
All
Um,
right.
and I already said this. I wrote a little tidbit. I said, we eat daily how they ate at celebration feasts.
All right.
But back then, yeah, like another thing it said it wasn't about wealth. Like the people who had the most, like it was a time where everybody felt equal. Like because that's like the master served the servants. It was about like togetherness and a celebration of like winter survival. Because
Yeah, I think
together we
that's
survive winter, we can all start anew and the earth will help us come the end, come spring.
yeah.
Um
And
and
I think we super underestimate how hard that was
yeah,
for people
they
to get through the winter.
and giving. like during the those winter solstice became a way to acknowledge the cycles of nature. Like what was shared would come back tenfold afterward. If I share what I have now, the earth will bring back the sun and I can create more. So, and that's
Hmm.
just such a good way to live, you know, like people hoarding things right now. Like that is kind of psychopathic when you really think about it. Like, what are you
Can be.
hoarding that for? Who are you hoarding that for? Like, we're all here right now. Like, I love this mentality of like, I don't know, finding a way for everybody to come together and like re-level. Once a year, they re-level. They get everyone fed. They get, you know what I mean? Like if we
Hmm.
treated Christmas like that, hold on, let's look at all of our iniquities and let's bring us all together and help everybody so we can all start stronger. Like how much better would we be if that was the way we celebrated this time of year? You
Hmm.
know? Like anyways, so either way, Christianity slowly weaved paganism into Christ's birth and also Easter, as we know, which is, just yeah, we'll talk about that one another time. But
Same
bunnies
thing.
humping, fertility, like egg, yeah, all of it is just another time that they rebranded because you it's hard to kill tradition. Tradition is all over, whether we believe in it or not. People like
Yep.
celebrate these traditions because they'll take any opportunity to be happy and share and love and gift.
Yeah. My brother, have you played around with those the AI that makes songs?
AI
Like you
what?
can AI that makes songs, like you
No,
prompt it with an idea of a song and it'll just write you one.
no, I haven't.
It's pretty fun. I played
I
with it a
ask
lot.
AI questions a
But
lot. Sometimes help with
I
homework.
I have it write music. So my brother wrote a song about okay, I don't know if he wrote the song, but he gave it the prompt of putting Jesus in the birth of Jesus, putting Santa in the birth of Jesus
Okay, okay. Like,
story
yeah, yeah, yeah.
called Jesus Was There, and so we all listen, we just
Is
laugh.
there any
It's
chance you have that or could get it?
yes. I don't know exactly how, but yes. Anyway,
Is it
it
on
was just kind of t
iTunes? Just kidding.
it should be. I have a
Okay.
copy of it. I just don't know if you'll be able to download it, but I can definitely
Okay,
send it
that's
to you.
fine. I just want to hear it myself.
Um, okay. Awesome. Anyway, it's just like a little tongue-in-cheek thing, like kind of like the Christmas shoes, where it's like
Yeah.
it's a little too much and not based in reality,
Uh-huh.
but it works. It's great.
Yeah.
It was not done in a serious manner, but it was funny. Anyway, just throwing that out
Yeah.
there.
So another thing that we do at Christmas time that has pagan origins is something called
Okay.
wasselling, which is our modern
Wassail
day
wassailing.
wasselling,
Hmm.
which is like our modern day caroling. Like what I told
Yep.
you, they would decorate the trees outside and like sing about like sing to them and stuff like that. It was
Hmm.
like they were trying to awake the trees. Like it was a ceremony for nature. So they were just
Yeah.
basically I don't know, it makes sense. Kind of.
No, it
Like
makes
they
total
were they were
sense to
trying
me.
to get blessed, like they would sing blessings to like the orchards. But then what it eventually became is that they started singing blessings to like people and households, just
Hmm.
because we do know like when you put good out there and you get people together and things like that, good comes from it. And eventually it became our modern day caroling. We do have
Hmm.
like I don't know where it's at on here, but somewhere they talked about like the sacred versus like secular songs. Like we,
Hmm.
we use them both when we do our caroling. We still keep
Yeah.
of things that are non-Christian with so like you have your sacred like Oh Holy Night and Silent Night, but also your
Hmm.
secular like Jingle Bells and Frosty, and they're all intermingled. Like
They're all in there
some mean nothing, some
as they
mean
should be.
something, but it all
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just so
It all
obvious
adds
when
to
you
the
look at it now. It's like, oh yeah,
yep.
this is clearly just a culmination of so many things. So the people who are saying
Well,
keep Christ in Christmas, it's like no one's taking him out, but there's a whole lot of other things there too. Like they all
yeah.
exist at the same time. Have your
Well,
Christ.
the music thing, I completely understand. As someone who loves music and who
Yeah.
like really gets a lot out of music,
Yeah.
picturing being like 100 years ago, you don't have like singers on the radio much. You don't have, I mean, maybe a little more than 100 years ago, but like you don't have the music, you don't have Spotify, you don't have thousands of artists of all different genres. You got nothing. You got basically what you can do on your own. So to have people come to your house who probably sing really well and like I would have loved that.
I
I would
still
have really
actually
it
enjoy
would have
caroling. We
been
just don't live in a place where they really do that, but we used to do it
well,
in Young Women's for church, and it was fun. It was fun for us who were caroling because then we'd have like hot chocolate or something. And it was fun for
mhm,
people to open the door and be like, "Oh my God, carolers!" And we all sing them a song. Because when a group is singing a song, it normally just sounds better than one person, unless that one person's really good, you
mhm.
know? So,
When my family gets together, we're just like all on Thanksgiving, we were all just doing our own thing,
mhm.
playing our own games or something, and somebody started singing something. It was just something off the radio, and everybody joined in, and it sounded so good. And it lasted for like 30 seconds, and then we all just
Aw.
stopped and kept doing what we were doing. And it was just, it was great. I
It
liked
was a
it a lot.
moment. It was a moment.
It
It's
was a moment.
awesome.
Like you've been with my family when they
Uh-huh. You've been with my
sing
family, so we
shiz,
sing too, but it is less of a moment. Nobody knows the lyrics. Everybody's a little off key and a little too loud. But my God, are we happy?
right? It's great. Everybody has a good time.
Yeah, but yours
Yeah.
is probably much more pleasing to the ear.
Well, I think I remember the first time Cody heard somebody sing happy birthday at my house, and he's like, what the hell was that? Like, he's like, I didn't know it was supposed to sound good.
That's so funny.
That's what we did.
Okay. All right. So let's see what else we got here. I'm on my last page here. Okay. So what did I write? I wrote, what is given with goodwill will come back like the warming sun to us all. Oh, that's just the reason why they gave gifts. Like the
Yeah.
beginning of giving gifts was um just to get good. I mean, not that you should give for that, but that's just where it began, I guess.
A
That must be
time of
why.
giving and a time of probably a time of seeing the needs of others and like what do people need? What do they, where do the needs lie? And
Yeah.
being helpful and giving what you have.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's,
Because everybody kind of needs at that time, like you said, you have to make up for it in the months where you can. So everybody has
hmm
kind of built up a stockhold, and then it's like, okay, everybody works together to get everybody through that hard time. So giving of the things that you have is like just part of overall survival.
yeah.
Yeah. But so Christmas overall is like a patchwork of holiday echoes with ancient pagan roots, pretty much. So it's just,
hmm Yeah.
yeah,
And they're all
Christmas
good
is
reasons to
not does not
celebrate.
belong to anybody. Christmas definitely does not belong to the Christians. Christmas doesn't belong only to the pagans either, because there are like, I don't know, because I definitely I feel like I enjoy the pagan way of thinking, and I could see wanting
hmm
to celebrate their holidays and customs. But the same way I feel about Christianity again is just take the offerings to some sort of a god who's gonna trying to give it so I get something in return, and just see it as like, take care of what's taking care of us, the earth. I can get behind that. So like, it doesn't belong to any one person. It belongs to all of us, and however we choose to celebrate, whether we believe in something or not, it's all of our time to celebrate.
hmm
And I love it.
And as much as people shout cultural appropriation or you can't do that, the thing is you can do whatever you want. You can
Hmm.
learn about all different cultures, pick and choose what
That's
you
it.
want, and that's it. That's, I mean, you do not have to be so rigid. Do you know what I mean? Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
No, it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, you can have your
You can
belief, but you have to
take what
leave
works
room
for
for other
you.
people's beliefs. You can't believe your belief supersedes their belief. It could only be your belief,
hmm
you know? Um, one
And
thing that they talked about that I thought was like interesting, it was just talking about how like consumer culture is what created the current image of Santa. So like all those things we talked about are what made the
Coca-Cola.
myths and stuff like that. But in order to sell things, that's where we got our jolly guy from. He is
Yep.
here for Coca-Cola. He's here.
Yep. Coca-Cola is what made the colors white and red.
Not that this is
Like
Coca-Cola.
the
I don't know why I said that, but this is First Watch, by the way.
Mhm.
You've never been? I used to
Awesome.
work there.
I
It was
have
like my
not.
favorite restaurant. So good. You have been?
Nice. I have not. We don't have a first watch here.
Okay. Well, this is the morning meditation, and it like has beet juice and turmeric and ginger and things that are really good for you. And I've had to learn how to drink it.
Nice.
Like I'm really good. And if I were to like plug a restaurant, I don't even work there anymore. But like there's somebody who's such a germaphobe and stuff. I liked working there and seeing that there are companies that still really value like quality and they hold their restaurants to a standard. Like the white
That's
glove
good.
cleaning happens every day. You know, like yes,
That's so
yes,
good.
things get hard and sometimes they're better, but like it's checked on a regular basis. So everybody's held accountable and it just feels like I don't know, it's a place that I'm comfortable eating. And I'm a little weird about eating out of other people's kitchens.
The Rachel seal of approval.
Rachel seal
Ding.
of approval. And this is
Yeah,
a good thing to learn to like because it's way better than
it's
soda.
good for you.
And actually, even though it's all these like, turmeric, ginger, all this stuff, it does kind of get you energy, like a little, ooh.
Hmm.
All right.
I do that with apple. I make my own apple cider kind of thing.
Okay.
Cloves and ginger and all sorts of little spices in there to
Wow. How holistic
for the
of you.
same reason.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
not really for holistic. It smells good and it tastes good. So,
Oh, well,
but it
still,
does it
apple
does
cider
do
is
the same
like
thing.
apple cider vinegar. Is that what you said?
No, no, just like it's kind of like poor man's apple cider, where you just get apple juice and then you throw a bunch of stuff in it and you
Oh, okay. I wonder
simmer
if
it
I
on your
added
stove for a long
vinegar in
time.
there. I thought it
No,
was some,
no
my mom
vinegar.
always used
Not a big
vinegar
fan.
for like gargling and cleaning, and she used
Everything.
vinegar on everything. I don't know. She likes vinegar.
She's a smart woman. I would do it more if it was more appealing, but
Oh, I already told you this. I skipped ahead that Christmas is celebrated even in countries that aren't Christian. It's just
yeah,
celebrations and traditions are desirable, and everybody does them.
I think so.
Um,
And it, no matter what religion you are, no matter which part of the season you're celebrating, it
mhm.
just feels like a time where we all kind of get together and there is a sense of community and there's a sense of peace and there's a sense of like just we want good for each other. That's it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I want good for you, you want good for me, and peace on earth, goodwill to men. That's
yeah, yeah. And I think
I
something
love
else
it.
that I put on here actually makes me think about something a little differently. Like like so it went from like the pagans to Christianity, and I guess I do have to acknowledge that Christianity has lost a little bit because there was a time where where Christmas seemed to belong to them because they were like, that's
Mhm.
ours. But now things are becoming a little different though because like advent calendars, they used
Yeah.
to count down to like the birth of Christ, and now they're just filled with like chocolate and toys, like marking times in ways that are joyful and distinctly non-religious, you know?
Hmm.
Like we have a bluey one, we have so we're at a little bit it is fading from everything being only for Christians. So in a way, yes,
Yeah.
they are losing the being the trying to hold on to it as if it is theirs a little
Well, I
bit, but
don't,
it's still there for them in that way. We just get to
yeah.
celebrate it in our own way.
Yeah, I think you can make it like I said, you can pick and choose and make it what you want. If you're looking
Yeah,
for the Christ-centered Christmas, you
yeah,
can find that. If you're looking for the just joy-filled Christmas, the
yeah.
nature-filled Christmas, you can find whatever it is you're looking for. It's
That's
not
what I
really
love.
a we own it, they own it.
Yeah.
It's like
But
a
the lines are definitely being blurred
find,
again. Like the lines blurring between paganism and once it's shifted to
yeah.
Christianity are now blurring again and becoming more
Mhm.
secular versus sacred,
Yeah.
American
And and we've
versus
even been told, we were just talking about this the other day, me and Cody.
yeah.
He was told at work a few times, like he'd be like, "Hey, happy holidays," and people would say, "You don't say happy holidays. It's Merry Christmas." It's like, well,
Yeah,
there's a
because
lot
you're
of
selfish and you
holidays
think
right
you're the only
now.
one, I guess.
I don't know.
Happy
I don't care the
Kwanzaa,
reason, but
Happy
the
Yule. Is that rude? No.
I just
You could say it
I
all.
just say happy holidays for because I feel like it encompasses both Christmas and New Year's, and that's
Exactly. Well, but
I'm
I
like
also
happy
feel like
holidays.
when somebody like one of Anthony's best friends, and honestly, one of my best friends, Matt Schachter. He's Jewish, and he always tells us Happy Hanukkah. Am I offended because I'm not Jewish? No. Like those are people being offended for the sake of being offended. And they always want to, and a lot of times I feel like those are the people that are like, cancel culture. And I'm like, yeah, no, cancel culture is not a thing. It's just people are being held accountable. If you can't be held accountable for the way you believe, maybe keep it to yourself
Yeah.
because we get to have opinions You don't just get to speak without, like, freedom of speech does not mean freedom of repercussions. We still get to have our own freedom of speech as well, even if it's different than yours.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we need to just appreciate our beliefs for being our own. Like, I don't
Yeah.
have to make my whole community
Yeah.
understand the way I
Yeah, like
believe.
traditions are like fulfilling a need for comfort and connection, whether you do it for
Mhm.
religious reasons or just because you know that, you know what, my mental health gets down when it's dark and this is a time to, like, I don't know, think about something outside of myself, buy gifts for other people,
Yeah.
think about, because I do think more, I think at Christmas time how other people are doing. And people, even for us, we had a family member just reach out because they know that Anthony lost his job and was like, hey, can we help you some for Christmas? Like, we wouldn't want the kids to even know. And I was like, honestly, I feel like our kids are good this year, because they were like, we don't want them to know it would be from us. And I was like, if you want to send something, I would rather give it to them from you, because it's always nice to know that there are people thinking about you and that love you who you aren't even thinking about. And they were like, okay,
Mhm.
okay, I will give them a gift from me. And I was like, awesome, you know? And like,
Perfect.
I think about people in that way too. I worry about, this is the time of year where I definitely feel the most generous when I see people, and I'm like, I feel the need to share. So we just carry on that, like, we're all in this together type thing. And
Hmm.
this time of year gets dark and dreary, and you're not alone, and it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. We're all just
Hmm.
people helping people. Yeah.
Um, just a little story to throw in there. I went
Yeah.
shopping. I had to get something on the afternoon before Thanksgiving. So it was like kind of a mad rush. And I
Yeah.
go in there and there were like these little old men that were shopping for their wives and they had their list and they're looking really concerned at you know, I don't know what I'm getting here. So I just stop and talk to them and try to help them out. And like
That's
there was just this, I don't know if it was just the store or what, but it was this whole feeling throughout the store of like, we're all in this together. Happy holidays. I help you, you help me. We're all family. We're like,
yeah.
and
That
it
sounds
was just
fun.
the cutest little thing. It was really fun.
You
And
know,
I
like
was
shop
like,
with a cop. How about shop with an old man who's shopping for his old wife?
right, right. And they tell me all about their family that's coming into town and I'm getting all excited for it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it was really great. I enjoyed that a lot. And everybody that passed you just looks at you and smiles and is like, hey,
Yeah.
we're the ones cooking, huh? Like,
Yeah.
anyway,
That's
it was
cute.
great. I wish it could be like that all the time. So I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah. So I guess to
Anyway.
wrap this up, let's think here.
Hmm.
So Christmas is Christian faith mixed with
Hmm.
ancient pagan rituals at this point. Like, that's what it, all encompassing, that's kind of what it has become. It's also a
Hmm.
celebration of like the light and the dark. You know, like the light will always come. Like, we
Hmm.
were always in darkness. Um, and one thing they said was that the brightest celebrations were born in the darkness of winter. Like, it's us trying to
I
lift
like
ourselves
that.
up. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
And when it gets dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, like you need that.
seriously.
You need that.
Elena she started going to sleep so much earlier because what
Yeah.
is it, your circadian rhythm or whatever, like the darkness.
Hmm.
She'd just be like, it's like 6 o'clock. And she's like, is it bedtime? And I'm like,
Sure.
okay. Yeah. No, there were a couple times where she fell asleep after school where I was like, surely she'll wake up. She did not. I'm just like,
Mm-mm.
okay. Like, it definitely has,
I think we'd be better off if
an effect on everything. Like, we are one
hmm
with this planet and it affects us in so many ways, and we should pay homage to it and respect it and care about the things that are being done to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I like this little place we live. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But now I'm like, I think I want to start, celebrating Yule. Hopefully they don't think that's
I like
cultural
that.
appropriation. I just think they're doing a good thing. I think it's good to reflect back. So if Yule is the 31st back, let me see what day it starts.
Mhm. 10 back is the 21st. 2 days before that is the 19th.
Yeah. Look at you with
Right.
mathing.
Doesn't doesn't mean it's right.
20th is what I counted back. So
Okay.
31st,
See.
30th, 29th, 28th, 27,
Oh, because you're
26,
counting the,
25,
yeah.
24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Oh, it's Haley's birthday.
Well, yep,
Haley brings in Yule.
she
And
does indeed.
maybe it'd be fun to do just for fun, like everybody does Christmas things. Let's do a Yule one where we go through and talk about like, okay, think back. What was January for you? I'll think about what was January for me and try to like, you know, use that
Mhm.
to make our that could be our New Year one even because we could both of us do Yule so we can do a New Year like this is how I want to improve. These are my goals to hold ourselves accountable. You in?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Like it. Let's do it.
Okay, starts on the 20th. I'll text you.
Okay, I like it.
Great. Any more
Um,
thoughts?
I will be on a cruise, but I might be able to get
Oh no,
text.
that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, no, I don't. If you're especially if you're out of the country and like I've heard that like roaming charges can get kind of wackadoo. So
Well, just the service on the boat at all.
yeah.
But we'll see.
You see that?
I have no idea.
I burnt myself trying to curl this and like
Ah,
and it's raining and it's already fuzzy from the humidity. So it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. It's okay.
um, every time I wear something midriffy,
Mm-hmm.
you can see a little line on my belly because about a month ago, I was getting cookies out of the oven and wasn't paying attention and
No. Got
burned
your
myself.
belly.
Yep. So I feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Like,
right.
what's
Baba, do
that from?
you have anything
Cookies.
that you want to say about this? Because Anthony, he actually, we had been talking about like just pagan because the masseuse I was talking to just had me kind of intrigued and he saw the video and
Yeah.
saved it for us to watch. So we literally just watched this last night. And like I said, I'll share it in like
Cool.
the description. So give it a watch because it does a lot better job like painting the picture than me, but I just wanted to do this anyway. So
Well, and
yay.
it's just fun to see what other people believe. My parents used to take us to a lot of different churches just so we could be well-rounded, and like
Yeah.
not
I
be afraid of other
I
people, kind of.
I am that's where I'm at right now. I want the girls like we
Yeah.
actually just told my mother-in-law because it's important to her. Like my family's um like I don't care which church it is. It's not a matter to me. We had the girls baptized in the Catholic faith because that's how Anthony was raised and I knew for a fact I
Yeah.
didn't care to like have them baptized in the Mormon faith. So, I mean, I don't care if I'm baptized anywhere, but I'm like, I'm here for traditions. And the other day, Elena was wearing one of the girls' old baptism dresses, and Elena and like
Oh,
I know it's
fun.
important to Lorraine, so I was like, you know what? If you want, you can get her baptized. That's fine. I'll throw the party. You do that if it's important to you. That way, she's getting the same. I'm like, well, we'll dot our I's, we'll cross our T's. Whatever. It's a tradition to me,
Yeah.
but if it means something to you, I'll allow it.
Let's do
You
it.
know. So,
Yep.
but I want them to learn. Because she was like, well, I wanted to learn about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to teach her about that because I'm going to teach her about every religion. Because one of the big things I'm seeing right now as a danger is how much we don't know about each other in regards to that and how much
Hmm.
we believe about things we don't really know. You know what I mean? So I want, like, I
Yeah.
don't like the idea of teaching out of the Bible at school, but if that class incorporated teaching out of the Bible, the Quran, like if it was a world history of religions class, I'd be okay with that. But you
Could
don't
be
you don't get to
interesting.
be the only one
Hmm.
because you're not the only one.
Well, and you'd have to be careful with the teacher too, because they could be a little biased.
Yeah.
But but I have to tell you also, like with my younger kids, when we were fully in the church, they had full knowledge of everything. Like I was I was a really good teacher and we go to church every Sunday and they did a lot. Since
Hmm.
we left and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do I believe? What do I want to teach my kids? There's a lot that got forgotten. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's a lot that I kind of figured they knew that the younger ones didn't know.
Hmm.
And I think it was last year, maybe it was the year before, but my youngest came to me and I was putting him to bed and tucking him in. And he goes, Mom, you would not believe what I saw. I'm like, what'd you see, dude? And he goes, they put a baby where the cows eat. I'm like, oh, maybe. Yeah.
Hey, and on the
Like,
contrary,
I
I
have
thought
slacks.
Elena didn't really know anything because we talked very little about things. But turns
Yeah.
out there are so many ads and little things when you start scanning through YouTube and stuff like that. It is quite literally filled with
Hmm.
Christian propaganda. She's always telling me stuff about Jesus. And I'm like, who's teaching you about
Yeah.
Jesus? And she was like, a video. And I'm like, oh, okay. So they are using everything at their disposal to try to get a hold again. But I'm here to
Well,
I'm like, watch it. Do watch it. Ask me the questions. Let's
mhm,
talk about it. That is
yeah.
a certain belief. That's
And
fine. Learn about it.
the thing that I've had to learn is like, what are they trying to do? They're trying to show me the thing that they hold most dear in this life, and that's a very special thing. And I
Yeah,
need to make sure that I'm respectful and at the same time hold my own beliefs the way I want.
exactly. Like that can
So,
be very special to you, and I can appreciate that for you. That's
mhm,
that's where it ends though. Like it's not special to me, and it never will be. I was
it
actually
doesn't
just
have to
telling
be.
Anthony that I want to, like, I wish I could, and maybe mom and dad, maybe you'll watch this. I want them to understand just how, because I remember doing this, like when my brothers would be coming back home, and I'd feel like something spiritual happened, you know? And now looking
Yeah,
back and now being on the other side, I'm like, the person saying it, the person like trying to make the other person feel their spiritual things, they're the only one feeling it. On the other side, it's like, what the hell is going on? Like, it is just not reciprocated. Like, when you think
there's,
something spiritual and you share something because you're like, this spoke to me, so it'll speak to them. No, it
yep.
doesn't actually. It's more just feels like you don't respect that I've told you I don't believe in any of that because you think somehow because this made you feel a way that it's going to make me feel that way. And it actually has the exact opposite reaction.
It's like an awkward feeling.
And
Yeah,
it's a negative feeling. It's a feeling of, oh, yeah, that has taken away your personality. The only thing you share with me is that. Like, God, I wish I knew who you were. And you're
I feel
that.
that.
That's who you are. And that's fine. I hope you're happy. That's what you are, though, to me.
Mhm.
It feels like it owns you.
But it's hard to see it when you're in it. I mean,
I
it's
know.
hard to make somebody understand that. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
understood it.
And they would say, well, the world owns you, what you think. And I'm like, sure, it does. And and I'm content and happy with that. And that can own me, I guess, because
Mhm.
I do want to pay homage to the earth and I do care about the earth and I do, you know,
Want to take care of where we live.
we all have those things.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So good luck with that connection
Yeah, yeah.
with
We're
your mom.
working on it. We're working on it. Baba, did you have any other thoughts? Did I cover everything? He said no. Anyways, all right. Well, I love you. I Lilas.
Love you too,
You can hear
Lilas.
that rain, right?
Just a little bit every now and then, but like not hardly at all.
Okay, so hopefully in the recording, because to me, like I put these on because it got so loud I couldn't hear it.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and I can hear
I got
it through
nothing.
these. So well, good. That means somehow having this equipment is helping.
Nice.
Yeah, good. Put it to the
Very
test.
nice.
Makes it through a
All right.
thunderstorm without picking up everything. All right. Well, I love you and I Lilas.
Love you too.
And
And if I don't talk to you before then, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy Yule.
Happy Yule. Happy
Happy
solstice. Happy
Hanukkah.
all the things. Happy
Happy
Hanukkah.
Saturnalia.
I'll never remember
Saturnalia
that one, but
sounds like a
yes.
party though. Like it's like rules out the door, diets out the door. There's just a time. I mean,
I could,
it wasn't a time of like harming other people. It's a time
of
of
course
like
not. You don't,
unity and stuff. So you don't ruin it with like it's not rules are out of the door and like you can fuck people up. It's just like we're all on an equal playing ground and we're just celebrating together is what it felt
if
like.
you need to be drunk all winter to get through this, then I guess do it. Like,
Because it's hard.
it's hard. Find
God.
a way to, anyway,
Anyways, all right.
get it.
Well, thanks. Love you.
All right. I love you,
Yeah.
Linus.
Have a good
Happy
cruise.
holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye bye.
I will.
Subscribe up there.
Subscribe.
There's a subscribe up there.
Okay.
Like the button.
Okay.